Welcome back to That One Show with the Newmans. I'm Ethan Newman.
And I'm Bethany Newman.
And today, we are going to discuss the suspicious, mysterious Area 51. You may know Area 51 as the location where the United States government holds all the aliens, or you may know it as the location that the U.S. government keeps secrets about stealthy aircrafts and other military secrets. So, with that being said, conspiracy theories. There's plenty of them out there. We've got what started off back about 72 years ago near Roswell. There was supposedly a weather balloon that had crashed near the town, and all of the folks that had witnessed it swore that it was an unidentified flying object. And of course, the government's response was, as I had stated previously, it was a weather balloon that had crashed. So, not to say that I don't believe in alien life, or maybe not necessarily that verbiage. I don't even like that verbiage. But, intelligent life forms.
Extraterrestrial.
Yeah, I guess that would be the scientific term for it. Because I do fully believe that there is intelligent life outside of Earth. And outside of possibly even the solar system. But heck, there may be some life in the solar system that we don't know about.
And I can agree with that, especially when you look at the definition of extraterrestrial life, which is life that may exist and originate outside the planet Earth, the only place in the universe currently known by humans to support life. So I think when you look at it that way, it's hard to believe that there's not anything else out there, whether, like you've said before, whether it could be...
Yeah, it could be a microbe. I mean, it could be anything. And I mean, whenever you look into a clear night sky, the stars that are out there, you can't count how many there are. I mean, of course, scientists try to do that because, they want to try and document everything and map out the universe. But whenever you're talking about millions and billions and even trillions of different stars, you can't tell me that there's not even one star that has a planet that can be suitable for life out of all of those trillion stars.
Now let me play kind of the other side of the field here and say, if there is other life out there besides just us, why have we not found anything yet? Why has there been absolutely no speck of evidence of this?
Well, I mean, quite simply put, when you're talking about the trillions of different stars out there, most of those, there's no way that we could possibly even reach out to it. If we were to send like a light signal, the nearest system with life may be, a billion light years away. So by the time that we would send even if we did a light signal to them, it would be a billion years later before they would even see it. And we'll probably be extinct by then. So that would bring me to the conclusion that, the alien life out there has either not detected us, or they are in the same boat as we are and don't have the capability to reach out in the way that we would like to.
That makes sense. It really does. Now, I'm not the type of, believer in extraterrestrial life as being the little green men that you see in movies or that everybody associates aliens with as the little green man. When I think of aliens or even people talking about there being aliens at Area 51, I don't picture little green men. Now,
yeah, no.
I think a lot of times the extraterrestrial spectrum gets kind of summed up into a little green thing that we know nothing about.
Right.
Or all of the stories that you hear about people being abducted by UFOs or, those kinds of things. I'm more of the skeptic when it comes to UFOs. And
right.
Aliens in the sense of how people explain them most of the time. I am a little bit more skeptical of those kinds of things, and if we're going back to the Area 51, I am extremely skeptical that there is anything weird and out of the ordinary in this Air Force base. I don't believe that there's anything spectacular going on that the whole world is just waiting to find out about.
Right, no, I completely agree with that. And, the thing is, with, Area 51, there is declassified information showing that it has simply been nothing but a secret Air Force base testing out secret airplanes so that they can secretly develop technology. I mean, yeah, so if you look at it, technically, Area 51 is a conspiracy, just because the government is keeping it a secret from us.
Now, is it a conspiracy because everything is just so secret, or is it a conspiracy because it's a government secret base? What would you say what makes it more of a conspiracy to people? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, first off, the fact that it's a government secret, that's absolutely going to be the number one type of conspiracy. But, I mean, by definition, though, it is a conspiracy because it's something that's being hidden from us that they are trying to keep as a secret from the general public. For all the right reasons, too, because first and foremost, I don't want to have the information of top secret military equipment so that I can have, back then, the Soviets after me trying to get that info. Mm-hmm. I mean, they keep stuff a secret for our safety. And then also, so that they can have an upper hand and that someone doesn't try and mimic them or copy their technology.
Now, okay, here's a question. I guess it's more of a give me your opinion kind of question.
Okay.
Since everybody has always been so... I'm not going to say everybody, since people have been paranoid about Area 51 and what secrets lie behind their big, probably boring doors, why do you think nobody has just been like, hey, this is what we're doing, we can't tell you everything, but here's the big picture, there's nothing crazy here, y'all don't need to come storm Area 51, it's okay.
Well, I think that that they would know that even giving out that much information wouldn't change a lot of other people's thoughts. I mean, they'd be wasting their breath saying, "Hey, we test airplanes here," because there's already stuff out there that says that.
I mean, they're on Google Maps and there's airplanes.
Yeah,
there's a giant runway there, it's an Air Force base.
Right. The only thing
installation.
Exactly. And the only thing that I've seen that can remotely look top secret is it looks like there's a tunnel. But you look at almost every military base in the United States, and I guarantee you they have a tunnel going to a bunker. I mean, we live not too far away from one ourselves, and I guarantee you, in fact, I've heard people say that they do have their own bunker or tunnel type thing, and, it could be just for testing out equipment.
Well, and I've heard stories about, certain bases and secrets that they hold, but you don't see everybody rushing to raid these places.
No.
So what makes, because this cannot be the only Area 51 type place that they have.
Oh, I'm sure.
Why is this the target of all of the alien theories?
Well, and I'm glad you actually said that, because Area 51 is pretty much just famous by Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood has made Area 51 famous. I mean, you go back to the movie Independence Day. They had Phenomenal movie. Yeah, absolutely. I love that movie. It was way ahead of its time. But, nonetheless, Area 51 played a really big role in that, and they did have aliens there. So, of course, everyone's like, oh my gosh, see, we were right, because it's in a movie, it happened, but that's obviously not always the case. Because, truth be told, here's the thing. If the government has secret alien life behind closed doors in a cage or in a lab or whatever, I can almost certainly guarantee that it would be anywhere but Area 51, just because of the publicity it has, the rumors about it. If there ever was any sort of alien life forms there or alien technology, they would have moved it by now and put it in Area 28 or whatever, So I'm very firm in believing that. And the thing is, with how much of a secret that is, and it's been about 72 years since the article that I read from, I think it was Time Magazine, that it got its name about that, or its reputation of aliens. So 72 years, you mean to tell me not one person was able to provide any sort of evidence about anything going on in Area 51? I mean, I get it. According to the movie, if you talk, you die. The government comes after you and kills you or whatever. But still, 72 years, that's almost a century of time that nobody has been able to sneak out any sort of evidence, especially in today's society with social media and, posting it on Facebook before you get caught.
Well, not only that, but they just released all of those declassified, which I think we mentioned earlier, all those declassified articles.
Right.
And, yes, I'm sure people are going to say, well, they didn't release all of them, or,
Well, of course not. They can't release all of them because,
But the ones that are basically eligible to be declassified, they've released. And there has been nothing, not one tiny little piece of information that even points towards aliens, extraterrestrial life, whatever you want to call it. There is nothing weird and out of the ordinary from this military installation as anywhere else.
Right. And the only, I guess if you want to phrase it, unidentified flying object that they would even document on there was a time or two that they thought that they had saw the MiG aircrafts from China back in, I think it was after World War II. I think right near the Cold War era is whenever they had saw that. But that's the only thing that I was able to find that they had documented that they thought that they had saw. But yeah, there's nothing in there remotely indicating anything about aliens.
Now, how do you feel about this, the Facebook group they started about rushing Area 51, they can't catch us all? How do you, I feel like I just felt like I was in a Pokemon TV show. But what are your, on a serious note, I guess, what are your opinions about people actually, I know it started off, I think, as a joke.
Yes.
But I do think that there have been kind of groups that have...
No, there's people that are definitely taking it seriously.
So what do you think about that?
Want me to put it bluntly?
Yes.
Okay, well...
Politely and bluntly.
Well, I can't really be polite. I guess the politest way that I will put this is I think that if people do storm Area 51... there's a very good chance that they will see some of the government secrets mowing them down. Because I'm sure they've got weapons that they've done research on, aircrafts they've secretly developed. And I believe that if people are wanting to see what's behind those closed doors, they may use that to let them see the last thing they'll ever see.
Well, there's even signs posted, and this is, I guess, why I don't understand why people think that they're going to be able to get away with this, is because they even have signs posted, you're not even to take pictures of, Area 51. You're not even supposed to be taking pictures anywhere near there. So what makes them think that physically walking past all of the no trespassing signs is not going to get them harmed?
Right. The thing is, ignorance takes a toll on a lot of people, and, if you are going to be, for lack of better words, I guess, dumb enough to walk past those signs, well, I can't necessarily say I feel bad, because it's none of our business, really. The government, and specifically the military, is there to defend us. And it's not even necessarily that it's a government thing. It's more of it's a military installation that has armed forces there to protect its country. And, as a taxpayer, you know what? Protect your assets. Absolutely. They said that they will protect their assets if, they'll do what it takes to protect the assets that they have there. And, that I'm in full support of that. Because I guess, maybe I'm just not dumb enough to go to Area 51 and try to storm it, myself. That, to me, that's just a bunch of hogwash. Because I just can't even wrap my head around even thinking about that. I wouldn't even go storming into the military base near where we are.
And, I mean, here's one of the signs, and I think this is at, like, the front, like, one of the front entrances, because I did read that some of the personnel actually have to take, like, private planes out to this installation because it is so far away from everything else. Sign says, warning, U.S. Air Force installation. It is unlawful to enter this area without permission of the installation commander. While on this installation, all personnel on the property under their control are subject to search. Warning, no trespassing. Maximum punishment is a $1,000 fine, 6 months imprisonment, or both, strictly enforced. Photography of this area is prohibited. No drone zone. And stuff like this is posted everywhere.
Yeah?
Absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I saw, I think it was maybe a year or two ago, it was a video I saw, I think it was on Facebook. These guys were being nosy.
On four-wheelers?
I think it was on four-wheelers, or, I mean, it may have even been it was probably four-wheelers. But they were driving up there, and before they could even get into the base, they were already greeted with some hardcore military dudes I wouldn't mess with.
Well, they hadn't even made it past the signs.
Yeah, I think they just got up to the signs whenever they were met by the guards. So, I mean, you know, I wouldn't do it. You know, I would say that it's going to be a health hazard to try and storm Area 51.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you value your life, I mean, because seriously, they say, you know, they're saying you can't stop us all. But do you really want to take that significant chance of, okay, let's just say that one person out of these thousands of people survives and lives to tell about it. Do you really want to be that 1 in 60,000 or have that 1 in 60,000 chance? I mean, is your life worth throwing away?
Or even, me and you were talking about this probably the other day. We talk about random stuff all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know...
That's how we got a podcast.
Let's say somebody gets in. Do you really think you're going to be able to just open up any random door and find just whatever you think you're looking for? Like, that's not... No.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing, you know. If just for the sake of argument, let's say there's aliens on Area 51. You're not going to... If you storm the base, you get past all the military... you make your way to all the buildings that, quote, house the alien life forms or technology. Do you really think that the door's going to be unlocked?
Just for anybody to walk in, just willy-nilly.
I mean, you know,
open it up.
Come in, we're open.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got those signs on all their doors. And I'm sure none of them have a keypad, and I'm sure none of them have deadbolts, or I'm sure that none of them have a little swipey thing where you take a fancy little debit card looking thing and swipe it, and it beeps, and quite honestly, it's probably got a retinal scanner or a hand scanner. I mean, you can't just walk right in.
I will say though, all of this publicity. Wow, I can't talk tonight. Publicity has been, I feel like, phenomenal for all of the gift shops and like tourist attractions.
Oh shoot, yeah, they're having a great year. they're having a great year, and if they get 60,000 people popping in, that's going to try and get some souvenirs before they die. I mean, hey, they're still going to make that money by 60,000 people.
But I mean, I think at the end of the day, I don't believe that it's a great idea for people to storm Area 51, and I really hope that everybody comes to, like, we should not be doing this, this is a joke. I'm really hoping nobody's going to do something as reckless as this. But...
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would love to say, oh yeah, all 60,000 people or more are joking, the sad thing is... That's probably not very likely that they're all joking.
And probably not. I mean, probably not.
Today's society, you gotta look at that.
Now, staying with, I guess, the extraterrestrial conversation with Area 51, do you think that we will ever discover in our lifetimes extraterrestrial life?
Well, that's a loaded question, in my opinion, because, you know, I think it's possible. I mean, do I think it's likely? Maybe not. But, I mean, you never know. I mean, if there is another intelligent life form out there that does have the technology, which I'm sure there's some sort of life form out there in the universe that does have that technology, because there again, trillions of, not even just stars, but trillions of galaxies that holds trillions of stars. I mean, odds are there's someone out there that can do something, and, you know, it could be any day now. It could be any year now, or any century, or millennia. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, really, only time will tell, and it's just that, I mean, we may find a way, you know, if we can improve our technology to the point to where we can scan outlying galaxies. You know, if we can improve the technology good enough to do that, I think that we absolutely will find alien life. And with how quickly our technology is advancing, you know, especially nowadays, I think that it is very possible that we can, if not find another planet that would support life, I mean, we may find more detailed information, such as maybe life forms. But there again, you know, I've also got that, I told you about my, and it was just kind of like a way to screw with your mind about, like, the solar system. Who's to say that, you know, Jupiter is actually like some sort of, you know, it's got a little rock planet inside of its big, gigantic atmosphere. I mean, who's to say that, you know, there wasn't intelligent life there, and whenever the planet started to go to crap, they went underground, and they've adapted to live underground. I mean, we can't look inside of the atmosphere. It's too dense. So, I mean, there's a number of ways that we could have life right down the road from Earth, and we just don't know it. I mean, we don't have the technology to discover that. So, I mean, I believe anything's possible. Does that answer your question?
No, that definitely does answer my question. I guess, you know, talking about stuff like this is more opinion-based.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because there is no hard, solid facts of this is what's going on. I mean, you know. The closest to hard, solid facts that you get is best guesses. Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, that's... we don't have anything to really prove anything at all. I mean, they've found planets that are just like Earth, and then they've disproved that shortly afterwards. You know, they're like, oh, this planet's just like Earth. And then they're like, just kidding, it's full of nitrogen. You know, I can't breathe that. So, I mean, there's all kinds of... I mean, just like Pluto. Pluto was a planet for the longest time, and then they reneged it. You know, like, nope, just kidding. So, I mean, as technology advances, I'm sure we'll find something of some sort that's credible.
And I think that goes for any field when you're dealing with the, I guess what you would call unknown.
Or paranormal. I mean, really, it's paranormal because it's out of the norm.
And I mean, and it is. And, you know, that's one of the biggest reasons why my brother does this, is because he wants to find answers for those things that all of us have no idea about. And that's why I think a lot of us in a paranormal field of some sort do what we do, because we want answers.
Right.
And, you know, we want to find out either A, why things go bump in the night, or B, if there's intelligent life somewhere else in space. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons and, you know, ideas as to why things are the way that they are. And
right.
I think that it's the exact same way for, like, extraterrestrial life.
Right. No, absolutely. And just real quick, and for the listeners, y'all may not notice anything, but we're going to go ahead and put a spot for our sponsors here for whenever they decide to come to us. So we'll be right back after these messages. And we're back. So if you didn't hear a sponsor, we don't have a sponsor yet. Come sponsor. Let us sponsor you. But yeah, no, as getting back to what you were saying, you know, that's human nature. Mm-hmm. You know, one of the biggest issues with human nature is we can't deal with mystery.
Secrets.
Mysteries, conspiracies. That our mind just can't handle it because the way that we are programmed is we have to know why A plus B equals C. Mm-hmm. And if we don't, it drives us absolutely nuts.
Well, and I think a lot of the times, too, like, things being secretive automatically makes them negative.
Right. Well, I mean...
and that's with a lot of things.
Absolutely. I mean, let's just flip it to something outside of paranormal. So, let's say that I get a text message on my phone, and I'm secretive about it. You ask me, hey, who's that? And I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. Is that not going to eat at you? That's
automatic. Yeah, and it's automatically like a negative thing. Like, why are you being secretive? Why does it have to be a secret? Why are you hiding it? Like, you know,
you're cheating. You cheating. That's exactly what you cheating.
You know, and like with the, you know, people saying like, well, the government's, you know, keeping secrets. That, it doesn't necessarily make it negative, but I think a lot of people perceive that to be a negative thing, that they have to keep it a secret.
Everybody keeps secrets. I keep secrets, you keep secrets, the kids keep secrets. They ain't gonna tell you who broke the Lego set.
Nope.
They ain't gonna tell you who spilt their drink.
And we're not gonna tell them what we bought for their birthdays. Like, I mean...
Right. So, we're the real conspiracy theorists.
I know, right?
So, I mean, that's just how the cookie crumbles. So, I mean, but yeah, that's just human nature right there. You know, we hate mysteries. We hate secrets. I mean... I myself, you know, I like surprises, which is a secret, you know. If you're gonna tell me, oh yeah, I got a surprise for you, I'm gonna say, well, don't tell me. I don't want to know about it.
But see, I'm the exact opposite. I hate surprises. I do not like them. They get on my nerves.
But there again, I don't like secrets. I like surprises because usually I'm getting some sort of benefit at it, and it's not negative because most surprises aren't. It doesn't have that negative. Is it commentation?
But see, when I think of surprise, there was a big viral thing, and I guess we are kind of getting off topic, but this just popped into my head.
That's our podcast for you.
I hate clowns. They're horrible.
Holy crap! I didn't know you were going to go far left field. Oh my gosh!
You said "holy crap" and you weren't looking at me, and I thought there was a clown behind me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So. In the 1 in a million chance that a random clown pops up is going to be right at that time that you said, "Hey, you know, talking about clowns."
Oh my god!
Now she's going to go. She's going to shut the door now. Oh, she's deadbolting it now. Man.
Okay, so back to my clown story. So when somebody says like, "I'm going to get you a surprise," the first thing that pops in my head is all those viral videos where a clown dressed as Pennywise would come and deliver you donuts. I don't like surprises. That's the first thing that pops into my head when I think surprise.
Okay, so whenever anyone has ever told you, hey, I'm going to get you a surprise, has it ever been negative?
I usually find out before the surprise gets there, so...
Okay, well, the unsurprising surprise, was it ever negative?
No.
Okay, so right now you're like at 100% non-negative, but you automatically assume it's negative.
Correct.
Even though every surprise has never been negative.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I do think with every, you know, because my train of thought for that is completely different than like yours, I think that's where you get even conspiracy theories, let's say like with Area 51, some of them are so different than others. And I think it's because people's, just the way you think about things is completely different.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, the way that it works, the human mind works with secrets and conspiracies is, you know, if there's a conspiracy about aliens, if it sounds good and that's all the information we're getting about a certain location, then our mind is trained to say, you know what, yeah, that's right. Because even if it's not true, some sort of certain answer or certainty is better than nothing. That's just how the mind works. Just like people with ghosts, you know, there's people out there who automatically think that since there's a sound in their house, oh, it's a ghost, and they believe it. And then you get 765 Paranormal out there, and they're like, no, you got creaky pipes. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, it gets proven that no, it's not paranormal at all. It's just your old ass house.
I mean, yeah, no, that's true. Or if you grew up not ever knowing about ghosts or spirits or anything paranormal, if somebody tells you, like, hey, my house is haunted, you're going to laugh and say, yeah, okay.
Right.
But for somebody who does stuff with the paranormal, I don't want to say it's easier, but I guess for some of us in our minds, it's like, oh, okay, that could be a possibility. I'm not going to completely rule it out. Let's do some research.
Right.
You know.
Your brother. He's like that. In which I am too, you know. I guess I've probably said it on almost every episode, but I always bring up the Fowler jail. So I won't even bring it up, because if you're listening to this episode, you probably listen to those episodes. But I mean, yeah, I'm still skeptical about the ghostly, spiritual, paranormal, because I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that still doesn't make sense, and I don't know for certain anything about it.
And I guess, you know, and for me, I'm like that with aliens. I'm still a little on the fence to a degree about aliens.
But you believe in ghosts?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would, and just going to the scientific side of it, scientifically, and from my understanding and research I've done, you have a much higher chance of there being alien life than there being anything called ghosts.
Now, since, you know, we kind of go on banters on our podcast anyways, and we kind of get off topic.
Incoming banter.
I have been physically touched with no explanation whatsoever. Absolutely no other explanation.
Right.
So, would that not be enough for you to believe in the paranormal with, like, spirits and ghosts and entities and things like that?
You getting touched?
No, if you were
touched. Okay. I was going to say, you getting touched doesn't tell me nothing.
No, if you were touched.
No, if I were touched and I was absolutely certain that it couldn't have been anything else, you know, I might lean more towards it.
I've never been touched by an alien. I've never seen a UFO. I've never had any weird experiences of abduction or anything like that. Anything that could possibly be related to aliens or extraterrestrial life. I've never had experiences with that, and I have never seen any solid proof evidence of that. Now, on the paranormal side of things, I've been touched, I've heard things, I've seen things. Like, I am surrounded by a group of, you know, investigators that are very, I'm trying to think of the word.
Intelligent,
and they all have a lot of integrity. Like,
right, which of course, you know, that being said, to anybody who doesn't know them doesn't mean nothing, because they don't know their integrity. Other people don't.
Touche.
So yeah, what good's the integrity that you have for them to someone who doesn't even know them?
I mean, no, that's a very valid point. Now, I have another question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that we will ever get to a point where we will have enough proof of whether it be paranormal, extraterrestrial, whatever, for people to say, you know what, that's real? Do you ever think there will be enough people to believe in this kind of stuff to make a difference with technology or advancements or put funds into it or anything like that? I
mean, really, Not really, just because there's going to be so many skeptical people that offset everything. And speaking of integrity, any sort of news media, social media, you name it, has little to no integrity anyway, so spreading the word about it wouldn't do no good.
See, I don't believe that. I don't believe that 100%.
Now let's just... I'll throw an example of something that may put, I guess, the integrity into the story. So let's just say that there's a crash site somewhere, and this is, of course, with the UFOs or aliens and whatnot. We'll just say that there's a crash site, and in this crash site, they find technology with a teleportation device that breaks you up into microatoms or whatever, and sends you 1,000 miles away, and then poof, you pop up. And then they give this technology, they put it into commercial use, and everyone can start using it. and they cover the whole story from start to finish and say this is from an alien ship, okay, you know what? If I'm actually getting to use this alien technology, okay, you know what? I think I might believe that.
So you think it would take something massive to get people to...
Yeah, it'd have to be, like, with as far as extraterrestrial goes, it would have to be a massive advancement in technology just out of nowhere to get people on board with that. Because, I mean, you know, if they say, oh, well, alien ship crashed and now we get a super fast internet because of the technology. You know what? No, that's been in the making for, you know, decades now. So I'm not inclined to believe that a alien spaceship gave us super duper fast internet. I mean, it would have to be something that's literally pretty much life changing. Mm-hmm. And as far as the paranormal, I think it gets even harder to prove something like that, just because, I mean, that's really a tough fight to prove something like that.
Yeah, just kind of curious on your thoughts on that. You know, just because there's a lot of things that get started up that people are like, you know what, I'm going to believe in that and I'm going to just run with it, whether it's for a cause or a belief system or, you know, you name it. There's a lot of, I guess, bandwagons, for lack of better words, that a lot of people have jumped on and have carried on throughout a long period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but, you know, the thing is, and even whenever it comes down to proof for the paranormal, mm-hmm. Now, I mean, there's no integrity in that either, because literally any sort of proof that you can get can be doctored. So unless you yourself capture that evidence and know for a fact that you're the only person that has touched that evidence, and you review that evidence by yourself, and you get that evidence by yourself, you're not going to believe it. Well, unless you do believe in that stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you're like me, you know, I wouldn't believe it. But like the Fowler Jail, that EVP, I think, I was doing a flashlight session. Flashlight was cutting off. You know, it was actually working. I was having an intelligent conversation. And then whenever I listened to the recording of it, whenever my light was going off, there was very specific sounding noises that pertained to that location that was, I mean, it was silent in that building.
But I could see your point, like, if I was somebody who didn't believe in those things, I would probably think that you were crazy, or that you had been up too long, that was just, I could probably give you a billion explanations for what could have made a noise that sounded like what you heard.
The keys jingling? Mm-hmm. Even though nobody had
Somebody
keys?
Could have been rustling around in their pot, but if I wasn't there...
Right, exactly.
You know, so I see your point. And I guess, you know, just like the same, who's to say that these people who have claimed to be abducted by UFOs, who's to say it actually didn't happen? Who's to say it did or didn't?
I mean, I'd say chances are it's not likely, because if I was a intelligent species, which we are humans, so I don't think that I would want to secretly abduct another species that is also an intelligent species, and then do a bunch of weird probing things and all that junk, and then send them right back. I mean, I'd be afraid that I'd piss off the other species.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
but I guess I could see, like, where it would be harder to jump, and I don't want to call them bandwagons, but that's the only word I can think of to use. I mean, I guess I could see where it would be harder for people to jump on these bandwagons of extraterrestrial life and, you know, things like that. So that makes sense.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right. I mean, and there's conspiracy theories everywhere.
About everything.
About everything. And I think on one of our next episodes, we're going to go over Bigfoot.
Yes.
Because
we had a spotting a little close to home, so we're gonna
quote unquote.
Yeah. So we're gonna be talking about that for sure. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, I think so too.
I definitely think we're gonna have two opposing opinions for that one.
I think. Well, I don't know. I don't even know what your viewpoint is on Bigfoot.
We'll talk about that in the next podcast.
Yeah, good shout. Well, I mean, I think that concludes this episode. I'm sure we'll probably touch back on it because I've got a very high interest in extraterrestrial research and life and all that other
Even
junk.
just like we're big space buffs and you know, that kind of thing too. So we'll definitely do some more talking about subjects like this. If you guys follow us on Facebook, leave some comments so we can kind of get y'all's thoughts and opinions and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And go ahead and check us out on our Anchor platform as well. Whether you're listening to this on, we're on 9 different platforms as of right now. So, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, go to the Anchor FM platform, find us on there, and be sure to, help us continue to do these podcasts and click on the support this podcast. A small donation goes a long ways. It's, of course, always appreciated, never required. We enjoy doing this, but if you want to support us to help us get better equipment and get us to where we're not both using the same microphone,
Oh, you love sharing microphones.
I love getting up close and personal with you.
Oh, and one thing, too, I want to say is that I do want to remind everybody that in the comments, wherever you guys are leaving your thoughts and opinions, always be respectful of other people. That's a big thing for us. So,
yep, judgment-free zone.
Yes, be mindful, be respectful, and don't be judgmental.
I don't care if you believe that Flubber from the movie Flubber is actually real or not. No judgment. So, yep. And on, I think it's August 17th, be sure to hit us up at the Fowler Theater up in Fowler, Indiana. We're going to have a big old convention up there. We're going to be representing 765 Paranormal.
We actually have a documentary coming out as well. 765 does. We are going to be showing that at the convention. We're going to have a bunch of different vendors. We're going to have some food trucks out there. So anybody who's up that way, get your tickets. Come on an investigation with 765, and we can't wait to see everybody there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and y'all remember Rune and the Moon from our previous podcast? Well, guess what? She's going to be there too. You look like you were going to say something. Okay, no, you're just getting comfortable. Got it. Well, and then also, yours truly will be announcing.
Yes.
Got to get my announcer voice. Hopefully I don't sound like that.
We'll work on it.
We'll work on it. If we got a 5.5 hour drive, we'll work on it on the way there. Then I won't have a voice left to use. True. So, anyways, thank you very much for listening. Be sure to give us a like, share, subscribe, support us. Click whatever links there are underneath us. Whatever it is, just show us some support. We appreciate it. And also, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Yes. We've got a few reviews, and so far we're at a 5-star, but we only got one written review. So
yeah, we love hearing the feedback. We
love,
hearing and knowing what you guys think, and even things that you guys want us to talk about. Throw them our way, and if they're not too risque, I'll be willing to talk about them.
Heck yeah. And if they are too risque, I may talk about them. But yeah, no, this is kind of like a crowdsourcing thing. We want engagement. We're very big into community engagement. And then also, while you're at it, go ahead and check out 765 Paranormal. Give them a like. Check out Rune and the Moon. Give her a like. Just give us all likes. We like the likes. Give us a thumbs up. Anyways, that concludes this episode of That One Show with the Newmans. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Bethany.
And y'all have a fantastic morning, day, or night.